Melody.
All
Already,
right.
already.
I know it's almost that time.
How
It's our
time
kind of
flies. How time flies when you're having fun.
a
I'm just thankful he got me here on time today.
he.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, getting closer and closer.
Okay.
I got something really wonderful to share with you guys today. It sort of builds up over the week's time. So,
All right. Well, it's about that time to start taking care
okay,
of business.
go.
So let me go ahead and do this. No, hang on a second. We're gonna do that. Okay, good. That's done. And we're gonna do. Okay, that's right. We're gonna do that. That's recording. Okay, and Robert, when you are ready.
Well, hello everyone, and happy Saturday, Sunday, gee whiz, Master's Mind, and got some wonderful stuff to share with you. For those of you that I had to leave right away with Terry's yesterday. I'll give you guys a quick update on that. Terry's mother, Monine, is her name. She's 88, and she doesn't know what happened, but she was just watering flowers on her concrete deck behind her house and took a face dive and landed on this eyebrow. So big giant goose egg on her eye, and then somehow she fractured a bone in her little finger. So she was all upset because she was like, "I just got my nails done, and I chipped my nail, and my fingers the same color as her nails. It was like, so she was in incredible great spirits, and it's I'll say, just I know that some of us got to be grateful for the medical arena. But man, whenever you get that kind of experience, you just go, for the love of God, man. It's just, we went into urgent care, and the very first thing he said was, "Hey, she's over 65, so you need to rush her and get a CT scan, because a lot of people get a little bump on their head and then they get bleeding on the brain and die." And I went, "Wow, that was great, great, great." Uh, um, side bed manner or whatever. I just seen like the blood just fall out of my mother-in-law's face. It's like, wow, great, so I'm gonna die. But the good news is once we got there, total of 8 hours, we're at the hospital. They finally got her admitted into a room. I think we got there by 2, and she finally got into her room around 10. It's just crazy, you know what I mean? So they did a CT scan and a MRI and everything, and did all these cognitive tests to see if she had a slight stroke or something, and she passed all with flying colors. So Terry went back up there this morning, and so I haven't gotten an update yet of when she might be released. But I wanted to thank you, Bill, for making the post, and Unlimited Wisdom, and all the incredible people that shared and said, "How is she doing?" So thank you very much. And it's crazy. Not that I wanted, my mother-in-law's story to tie into what I'm talking about today, but it does. So last Sunday, I told you guys, I want to just cover it quickly, but last Sunday, I said that, there was a part of, you'll see how it will blend in, and then we can open it up for any kind of comments or discussion. But I wanted to talk about the sort of the parable of the talents. And I heard this in a number of different ways. It's funny how every belief has this story in it. And let me dumb it down for me, is I want to say to each and every one of you, have you ever heard the phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it? You know? And a lot of funny stuff about that, but it's really, really true. So if you haven't heard the parable of the talent, a very wealthy man decided that he was going to go on a long trip. And so all he did to three of his servants, based on their ability, so based on what they've done so far, is, talents. I'm sure some people that are incredible what do you call it? Experts or whatever, whatever a talent is, I don't know. And so to one they gave 10 talents, to one I believe it was 5 talents, and to the other they gave 1 talent. And he said, "Listen, just do what you want to with it." And so on his trip back, the guy that he gave 10 to multiplied it and turned it into 20. The person that he gave 5 to doubled it and turned it into 10. And the person that he gave 1 talent to took the talent, and he was so scared of losing it that he decided to bury it. And so then when the guy comes back, he went up and dug it, and he said, "What did you do with it?" And he said, "Well, I didn't want to lose it, so I buried it." And so, of course, the first 2 people that took their gift, you guys hearing it? They took their gift and used their gift to multiply, of course, were rewarded. And then he took the 1 talent away from the guy that just didn't do anything with the talent, and he gave it to the guy that did 10, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys, is that, the whole story of the talent is, I think that each and every person would love to have a better life in every way. And if I were to ask each and every one of you this question, not that there's a quiz, but what do you think that you have that's a gift that you could give to others? Because if you don't recognize your gift and you don't every day try to multiply and give that gift away, then you're just buried. You're just buried. Nothing's happening to you. So I want you to really think about what your gift is. And then I'm just going to say to you this is bold, what it is, what your gift is. Because this is your gift. Your gift is to recognize the gift that you are. So the gift is when you really learn to love yourself, 100% love yourself. As you do the work to learn to love yourself and be in awe of yourself, then you'll want to spend the rest of your life teaching other people to do exactly the same. Did you guys catch that? So, you guys all heard in my own personal testimonies on other videos just how awful and crazy my life used to be. And once I figured that out, and I figured I was the greatest miracle in the world, here's a very bold question. And I know that each and every one of you, based on, ego, pride, we're always told that, we got to be careful on how to, just not be blowing our ego out of range. But if I was bold enough to say to each and every one of you, do you believe that I've ever expressed to you personally that I love you, that I think you're a miracle, that I think that you're special? Have I made any of you feel that way? So that's the gift I figured out for myself. And then I get gooder and gooder by practicing on giving that to others. And I know that we're taught it is weird, isn't it? Because I got Dino in my head, just like every one of you. You know what Dino always does to me? He goes, "Man, you say you love and appreciate everyone. Don't you think that people will look at that and say, why don't you come up with something different? And what if other people notice that you put love and appreciate on everyone's post?" It's like, come on, Robert. It's like that. Look at Sandy laughing. It's like, that's what Dino does to me. It's like, listen, you don't need to say that you love and appreciate them. You don't have to do it to everyone. And when you think of that again, the Dino, the little head, the little voices going off in our head is like, listen, don't make people smile. Don't be nice to people. Don't be kind to people. And so we always hear these things all the time where people go over and above what an average person would do. And so then here's the other one that Dino beats us up with. So, I told you guys that, one of the things that my mentor, and I don't promote the book, I don't know why, because what I did is I just, he told me to get another book. I heard the title and I was done. You know what I mean? And the title of the book was Think Big. And I like shortcuts in my life because I learned to do that because I'm dyslexic. And I went, think big. Okay, so what's the biggest audacious thought that I could have? And some of you have heard me say this, and I said, well, I'm just going to outgive God. That's what I'm going to do. And Dino kicked my ass. Dino, why? I hope you're not going to say that out loud to people. It's like, that's never accomplished. And I'm going like, okay, but if that's the most audacious thing I can think of, then I'm going to consistently do gooder and gooder, a percent better each and every day, KAIZEN, never-ending improvement, and I'm just going to continue to do my best and give and give and give and give, right? So then the other Dino comes in, right? I know that none of you have these Dinos, right? And so my deal is I told myself that I would do it every day for a year. And then I would reevaluate. And again, as you're doing it, Dino steps in and went, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? You can just give and give and give. They're never going to give back. This 100-fold return that you're supposed to get. Come on. Why should you go out and continue to be kind and love up on people and love up on animals and love up on everything? And it's just nothing ever comes back. Now I look at my life for the past 40 years, and now it definitely works. It definitely comes back. And so some of you I know probably maybe just hasn't, 100% committed. And I still know that for a fact, for me, I seen that Susie posted right before I jumped on here, and she may watch this, that she said she's almost through the greatest miracle in the world. And one of the things that you guys will see as a consistency of every successful person on the planet is these two words. One is love. That these people delusionally are in love with who they are and their abilities. Now, I'm not saying in every area, but the people that are good athletes, the people that are good singers, the people that are good actors, right? The people that are good entrepreneurs, the people that are just above average. I see Tom on here, and it's like to think that Tom constantly gives away his gift every Sunday. No, he works in a store that sells pianos and organs. He sings opera. This guy has surrounded himself with the gift that he's found other people that had the gift, was willing to give everything away, to sacrifice time to learn how to do it. He then practiced that gift for way more than 10,000 hours. And now his whole life, every day, all day, is surrounded by the thing that he does. How many people want a little bit of that? Right? So, Tom, I seen you today again. I'm sorry I keep missing it live, even though I set my timer for it. but thank you very much. I really really appreciate you. And is there anybody that has ever seen Tom do that? He does it on Sunday. He live streams it. And again, how many of you would agree that watching people do what they love is like the ultimate awe? Wouldn't you agree? It's like the reason that people can't understand why some people love the things that they love is because they don't love it. You see what I mean? It's like, wow, how can you make $1 million a year by knitting? Well, I love knitting. My whole life's about knitting. I do YouTube videos about knitting. I give classes about knitting. Have you seen people who are like this? And I always talk about this is like, hey, I made a full-time income skipping rocks. I think someone sent me just a deal just the other day. I don't remember who it was. Probably was Arthur. And it's like now they caught the guys that were trying to compete against this guy that they were actually cheating and doing things to their rocks to make them skip better. And I go, wait a minute. There's always people that are in it for different reasons, right? So now the other part of that I'd like to share with all of you is, have any of you really honestly sat down and just said, what is love? Just really, really honestly, just say, this is what I think love is to me. Because what you guys will find out is that, again, as unique as your eye, as unique as your DNA, unique as your fingerprints, we all have this different kind of love. And what I think is so amazing about love is that you hear people, well, I don't love my spouse the way I love my kids. And, the way I love my dogs are different than the way that, it's like all these words that we express this kindness and love is like uniquely different. Well, let me tell you what that is. That's the stupid part of human beings that try to put it up here and try to figure out logically what it is. See, when we try to label something that's unlabelable, I don't even know if that's a word, but I seen Arthur, because me and Arthur, have a lot of personal talks, and Arthur posted in the group that, wow, I know some of you are going to go, this is a duh factor, right? This is a duh factor. But that scientists now have proven through MRIs that a certain part of their brain lights up when they love the person that's their person that owns them, right? And wait a minute, it is different than food. It is different than them going on a walk. So how many of you, I'm 63, how many of you have heard people that are supposed to be expert scientists that went, listen, I'm telling you right now, animals don't have feelings. And how many of you, as soon as you heard that, went, you need a degree in something else because what you don't get it, right? And because it's unconditional love, how many of you know people, I'll be very careful here, how many of you know people that when they lost a pet, they actually lost it more emotionally than they did someone that was supposed to be close to them? I see. Why do I see a bunch of heads that, all of us do not want to tell the story, but I see Jim's head moving, And my sons, they've been around me their whole life. And they'd seen me, try to participate in the loss of life and the celebration of life. And, unfortunately, probably the male individual that was the closest to me was Terry's dad. You know what I mean? And also Terry's mom. So having them around for 41 years when I didn't have my parents around, there shouldn't be any hard explanation, right, of what that was. And so, of course, when Sam, caught cancer and started getting really, really bad, um, when all of a sudden he relied on me, he knew that I would be there for him. And also his wife, my mother-in-law, knew that I would be there. And here was the crazy thing that, that he said to me. He said, Robert, the reason that you mean so much to me is you're a rare individual that understands that personal connection is more important than anything else. Because his other brother-in-law said, I just don't like hospitals. You know what I mean? We do know a lot of people, don't we, that make up excuses for not wanting to get involved in this personal connection stuff, right? They'll do everything they possibly can to not get connected, not totally surrender their heart. And people go, why would a person do that? Well, a person would do that is because when they've probably attempted it in the past, they got hurt. And that's really, truly just honestly over expectations. It's like, I would rather love and be hurt and love harder and get hurt more and love more and get hurt more than not love at all. This concept of being hurt like I was before I got exposed to this book, Terry is one of the most important people that will ever be there for me. And to think that I did everything in my power the first 5 years that I met her to do everything I possibly could to make sure that she didn't want anything to do with me. Because I was just too immature to want to surrender because of my hurt in the past. Just anyone that I ever allowed to get close to me abandoned me, right? So all of a sudden she's not there and I feel like I'm going to die. So, so I did the thing that, the C word that everyone's scared of as a male called commitment. and once I jumped off the deep end, then I did that. But telling you guys the story about, love is that, all of a sudden when this happens and thank each and every one of you. I apologize I had to go so fast, but I seen Terry, got a call from the neighbor, and her mother had fallen down. She says, I got to go. My mom fallen down. And I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me that I just needed to be there for her, right? And just gone. And I've told my sons this their entire lives. It's like, if you want me or need me, tell me. I will stop every frickin' thing I'm doing right now. And I'll prove to you that you're number one in my life. So, God bless you, Lisa Marie. And so and so now we're there. And, over the last 40 years, Monique knows me pretty well, right? And so all of a sudden she says, wow, Robert, she goes, I know how busy you are. I know how much stuff you do. You really don't need to be here all day. And I went, yes, I do. And so I get up and give her a hug, and I know this is going to sound weird, but I don't know too many people that are as close to Monique as I am. And then I gave her a hug, and she was crying a little bit, and I told her how much I loved her, and and that I would stop the world to make sure she was okay. And so when I sat down, the very next thing that she did is she said, thank you for doing that to Matt and Kyle. And I said, what? And she said, they're so kind and they always go out of their way to do stuff for me. And they're always doing things that I don't ask them to do. And she said, man, you've really raised two incredible men. And she says, I can see it in the way that Matt treats his son. And see, sometimes we don't realize that taking the time to love ourselves allows us to be open for others, to allow them to be open for others. I think Melody Riba calls this all the time, the ripple. You don't see the ripple until it really, really starts rippling. And, those are things that I'm most proud of. So, my son, I remember when, he got married a little over 10 years ago. And they were living with us. And all of a sudden, our big golden retriever, he was an English golden retriever. His name is Bo. And all of a sudden, I could tell there was something wrong with him. And then all of a sudden, I seen the way he was reacting, and I could tell that he couldn't see me. And so we didn't know what was wrong, but you could see that he just couldn't see me. And of course, we went to the vet, but I just remember people being around me, and I can guarantee you, if you talk to Matt or Hannah or my wife or even the vet, Kyle, my son, and they're watching this adult male just totally losing it because I instinctively I knew that he was scared, and I just felt so helpless at that moment. And he's a big old 120-pound dog, so me and Kyle had to carry him and take him to the vet, and then they sort of let us know what was going on, and of course we had to say goodbye to him, and it's like, gee whiz, I'd rather love than not love, right? And so, each and every one of you, I'm telling you right now that your gifts of talent, the thing that will make everything in your life click for you, is the ability to have unconditional love with no expectations whatsoever coming back. And all the parables about sowing and reaping, you just got to really go all in. And so every success book I've ever read talks about, well, one day someone told me that I needed to write down 3 things that I had gratitude for. So having a gratitude journal and really, really learning to look at yourself in awe, everything about you in awe, that you're a miracle. That's why it's important to, read out loud the God Memorandum. You got to learn. If there's another way that you guys can do it, maybe it's like, going to AI or Google and saying, what are the 5 most reviewed books? 5 of the most reviewed books that are the most sold books that have to do with self-love. The reason I keep promoting this one is because it worked for me. And so to see people like Susie saying that she's getting close to the God Memorandum, and for some of us that have read the book, you're like, wow, and so if you read the book and attempted to do the assignment and you didn't complete the assignment for whatever reason, I think you owe it to yourself to find something where you can start looking at yourself in awe. And one other thing, just a total side note here. I even went on AI and I said, listen, if a person's agnostic, if a person's an atheist, how do scientists, atheists, and agnostic explain love? Oh, it's that thing in your brain that makes you want to have sexual attraction to something so you can, duplicate the planet. And I'm like, wow, they're sure missing a lot. They're sure missing a lot. And, for those of you who know that I'm just getting bolder and bolder, if someone's told me, Robert, explain God to me, I would just say love. I would just say light. Because those are things, again, that, explain light. You know what I mean? Well, it helps you see in the dark. If you're talking about the sun or a candle, you also can feel warmth from it. It produces an energy that not only lights up darkness. If you guys have ever been in total dark and you have a small candle, man, the illumination is just instantaneous. But when the light lights up the darkness, it does something to our heart and our safety. I don't know about you guys, but I feel different in the light versus the dark. Just me. Another way that I heard explaining how to be successful in life, because a lot of people don't want to try, is if you look at headlights on a car that's driving in the dark, they only have to light, 25, 50 feet ahead of you. You just need enough light to drive the next 25, 50 feet, and then the light's showing you another 25, 50 feet, and then the light's showing you another 25. And just when you think everything's okay, and all of a sudden little yellow signs show up, and then it goes into a corner, a lot of us might get freaked out just a little bit. Got to slow the car down. You know what I mean? It's like, because the lights are not showing us enough room ahead. So we all know that the sun has light, but then we also know that it has energy, and we also know that it's warm. It makes us feel different. So not only the light lights up the dark, but you also can put the light under something and it heats it up, and we can boil water and we can cook. A little thing called fire, you know what I mean? And it's like, if people always have difficulty with names because they're trying to put labels on stuff. So when I reach out to people and try to really get them understand, is I go, if you can explain love to me, just explain love to me, then you're going to get it. Well, Albert Einstein said it best. Now, if you can explain that love to a 6-year-old, because now we go back to the awe factor. See, I told every one of you that this was all going to tie into this whole week's, mind dump, right? The download that I got. Because you can have somebody that's small as Ezra, couple of months old. And why did they just do the littlest stuff and you melt? What the hell is that all about? Now, do I know people that go, I don't like children? I don't want anything to do with children? Not being mean, but, someone like Bill Maher. It's easy for me to understand that he's an atheist and he's dedicated his life to atheism and even does a movie when he won't commit himself to anybody else. He's never been in a long-term relationship, doesn't want to get married, doesn't want to have anything to do with kids. And yes, that's a personal choice. But when a majority of the people that come on his show will confess that they're believers, and the most educated people he can find on his show that goes, Bill, you're wrong on this one. Why is it so different from them than him? You just have to ask him, hey, are you married and got any kids? Yeah, of course I do. Well, if you got someone that's committed to never building that close of a relationship with anyone. So, isn't it funny that even if you tried to ask somebody that was an atheist or agnostic and say, hey, can you explain love to me? Most of them will say, oh, I honestly don't think it exists. I really, it's some neurological thing, something that has to do with emotions. And you're going like, dude, man, watch this. And you take a puppy and you put it with a toddler. And you're going, you don't see or feel that? No, I'm just going to stand on my belief and say it's not true. Ow. I'd rather not understand and just go, ah. Yeah. How many people that you know have no problem with not understanding love goes, I know I sound weird, but God, I love the way puppies' breath smell. Anyone with me? You look at little chicks or you look at little kittens, and it's like there's a part of you that just goes, man, and perfect timing for Corky to come on here because the love and awe of something that's made up. Is it true or not true? If every one of us found out in a time in our life that Santa wasn't real, then why do you feel that you have to continue to lie to the next generation? Is there any logic behind that? Imagine sitting down with somebody and go, you do know Santa isn't real. Yeah, unfortunately, I figured that out when I got older. All right, so do you have children? Yeah. Did you write Santa on some of their presents? I did. Oh, so you know it's a lie, but you're also okay lying to the next generation. I don't think it's anything to do with lying to them. Then why are you doing it? Because I want them to experience the joy and the love that I experienced. The part that we don't understand, the part that's mystical, the stuff that's like, oh my God, it's not only Santa, but this 300-pound person can actually go down a chimney of a house that doesn't have a fireplace. And he's got reindeer that lands on houses. And he can deliver presents to every kid in the whole entire world in 24 hours. How many of you are okay with, I'll just. So I've been around and I've seen Santa in supermarkets. And I have no clue why I want my kids to have pictures with them. Isn't it fake? It's supposed. So I think that people really have a difficult letting go of the awe, having being awe inspiring, learning to love themselves and be in awe of themselves, and then constantly every day making sure that regardless of how you feel or think, you got to be planting seeds and sowing that love into others. Because for me, the definition of that higher power or whatever that is not explainable. That's why people that love being analytical or atheist and agnostic, they want to say, no, you explain it to me. And they go, well, it sounds like a make-believe thing. Well, why don't you explain evolution to me? That sounds like a make-believe thing. So if I can be delusional and have love in my life and love for myself and love for others, I'd rather be delusional than someone else's description of delusional. Amen or amen? You know, you even look at the word amen. It just basically means yes. You know, someone does something and you're like, yes, yeah, yes. So that's my little talk about making sure you understand that you got a gift. Please, each and every day, figure out and be in awe of yourself. And as you figure it out, make sure the things that you figure out that makes you in awe of you, that you make sure to share with others so they can learn to be in awe of themselves. Because once you love yourself, then loving others is the simplest thing on the planet. It really, truly is. I do not have to think about. And I'm not saying this to be proud or impress you guys, but I tried to just throw out the number. If I said this to you guys already, I love saying this stuff because I just want each and every one of you to know that Dino works on me as much as he works on you guys, right? And when the thing with Charlie Kirk happened, I was like, okay, if I died today and people ask people, hey, do you think Robert Hollis believed in God? Do you think Robert Hollis believed in Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior? I was actually asking that to myself. And if I didn't share this with the group, I was just sitting there, you know, in awe of like, man, have I done enough? Servant, you know, great work, well done, servant. I'm losing the words here, you know, and it's like, as soon as I said that and got quiet, all I heard was, oh, you mean the guy that speaks in front of millions of people that during the time when he's on stage falls to his knees and raises his hand and does a prayer that everyone can see? Are you talking about that guy? And I was like, okay. It's like, you know, yeah, yeah. So I want to be more bold because my heart for people and how much I love them, I really do my very, very best to sort of talk around the subject so people can ease into what they believe. And it's very important for me to make each and every one of you understand, which I don't think is done well enough in the world, is that when you can get someone again to understand and proclaim their uniqueness, that the way that they love and the way they believe is different than anybody else on the planet. So just like school, it's the lack of our understanding of uniqueness in individual people that we feel we need to tell them, just like school. These are the grades that you got to be in. You got to get in these boxes and you got to complete these boxes to make you feel like you're good in society. Well, now you get grown up in an environment and around a group of people, and now all of a sudden someone gets to pick your spiritual belief for yourself. Did you guys catch that? And so now all of a sudden when people start growing up and they start thinking, they're like, this church is not doing it for me. This religion's not doing it for me. There's things that aren't matching up. So as soon as they realize that they're not being fed by what they feel, and it says, seek and you shall find, then what a lot of people do is they don't realize what that is. I've never said this to you guys, ever, ever, ever. Is when you feel lost and you don't know what it is, but you would like it to be more, that the answer is not on the outside, the answer is on the inside. See, so we're constantly looking for a person that might know the answer. Well, hopefully they know the answer for themselves. And for people that are really in love with themselves and really love God and have a church, that's why they can get tens of thousands of people to show up and millions to show up online. But I'll be bold when I say this. I guarantee each and every one of you that have leaned into wanting a better relationship with that thing that's bigger than you have consistently run into voices and things where it starts checking your spirit and your soul. And you're like, that fed me for a time, but it's not feeding me now. And so that thing, because in closing, what I want to say to all of you is I said a statement quite a while ago that the way that children spell love is Time. Here's what no one wants to hear. No one wants to hear that the only way that you're going to learn to be in awe of yourself is by spending time with yourself. The only way you're going to have that connection that makes you feel in total awe that all things are possible is when you have a connection with that thing that you know that's out there bigger than you. And you got to find a way to create that own personal relationship. Everyone knows this if I said this to you. You know your connection with your, the person that's your spouse is different than your child. That's different than your parents. That's different than your animals. That's different than your friend. And everyone can say that. It's like, well, do you believe that you can love a friend? Oh, hell yeah. Well, explain that love then if you love your husband or your wife. And what do people say? Well, it's love, but it's just different. Well, then is that the same love that you have for your children if you have them? Yeah. Well, which one's your favorite? I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. Do you love music? Oh, yeah, I love music. Why this genre and not this genre? Do you love food? Do you love traveling? See, wouldn't it be easier just to admit that love is okay and you can write down a lot of things that you love because love is just love instead of having someone go, what's wrong with you? You can't love food. You can't love animals. Did this help any of you? So learn to start being in awe of yourself. Because sometimes when you do things, you don't find out till later how much you mean to a person until that time is there. So I've never regretted loving. Wow, I just stopped there. It's like that was the end of the sentence, right? And to be able to do the thing I know that I shared with some of you, where what if every sentence that you put is you just take a piece of paper and you write on the top, I love. I love. And start writing things that come down in your mind and your heart. Just start writing them down. I love this song. I love this movie. I love riding my Harley. I love riding my Harley. My fat boy, a fat boy on a fat boy. Start writing things down that you love, right? And then take from there and go directly to the things that you love in the future. That's called imagination. I love getting people to understand how important it is to love themselves and be awe on themselves. Because then they'll spend the rest of their lives showing other people how to love themselves. And then they can imagine and fall in love with their imagination of the future of what they're going to do for themselves and the people that they love. Okay, Craig.
Do we have time to interact with a few people?
Absolutely.
Okay. Um, I'm going to go ahead and open up for Santa Corky because I know he had his hand up. Corky, are you okay to do it now? Because I know you said you had to leave. Okay, hang on a second. Gonna ask you to unmute and go right ahead. Mary Valchik, you're coming up, and then Deborah also.
Oh, I wished I would have caught the first part of that. I'm so sorry. I just was finishing up an audition, which is good, but the other part of that is I was getting ready to go, because this is how I dressed to do the audition, and I was going to go live after this thing was going. But right in the middle of what you're saying is, because I get called a lot of things sometimes from Christian people about Santa being a pagan, and I got something in my ear. That kind of stuff. So they're making all kinds of judgment without knowing exactly what I get to do. And as we were talking, I get a phone call from my manager, and he said that, hey, you got to get on Cameo. And this is what I get to do. This is what brings awe to me. Is that there's a little boy in the hospital right now with cancer, and they want to throw him an early Christmas thing, and this is an urgent message. This is an urgent. Can you do the Cameo now? She reiterated just a little bit ago. Can we rush this? It's do a video saying that he is strong and brave, and that his whole family is and many friends are behind him. Hope for a miracle, and that he's on the nice list. So I get to do that now. So I mean,
Go do it now. And I'll just say one thing. And
I just
and
love
when
it.
people ask me if I'm Christian,
Mhm.
and I usually say it depends on your definition, and they go, "What do you mean?" And I said, because if a Christian judges and hates others, I'm not your Christian. I'm not the kind of Christian you are.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how fast I'll say it.
Right.
I go, because man, you know, I don't even need to go any further.
Right.
I
Yep.
love you. I appreciate you.
Mhm.
Just focus on the love. Just when people, want to tell you that you're doing something wrong, just I just love that. Hey, listen, I have a personal relationship with my Lord and Savior, and I know I'm doing right.
Right. No, exactly.
You got a problem, have him talk to me.
Right.
I love you, Corky. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
I love you guys, but I wanted to share that people don't know what we do. as
No.
Christians in our walk. They don't know who the people we affect and do on our daily run. So anyway,
Yeah, well, there's
thank you, bud.
there's a whole group of people that are Darth Vaders that walk around in darkness, just feeling like they got to get us to stop.
Yeah,
That
so true.
there's nothing that makes a person with no love in their life more mad than a person that has love in their life.
Yeah, no kidding. That is so true. Well said. Well said. Thank
I
you,
love you,
bud. Thank you,
Corky.
family. We'll
Take
talk
care
to
of
you
that young
soon.
boy. That's
All right.
awesome.
This
Bye
is
bye.
going to be cool. If I can make it through without crying.
Just let your heart do what your heart does.
Yep, it's going to
You
be
bet.
good. No, it's going to be good. All right. God
Love
bless.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Santa Corky.
Thank you.
Wow. I can't wait to hear the follow up to that. That would be really awesome. And before we get to Deborah and Mary, I just want to share something with you just in case. Okay, it's a promo. Our merchandise store is open for Unlimited Wisdom. Okay. And there are shirts, there are hats, there are mugs. And if you guys get a chance, go check it out. It's actually kind of neat, and place your order. I know there's some orders that have already been placed, so that's a good thing. I'm putting the link here in the chat. So you go to that link, and that is our store. Let me just really quick, really quick,
Our store.
our store. Let me just really quick do this. Here is some of the merchandise, including the coffee cups and shirts and hats. So lots of great things there to share or to get, and then also share our words, unlimited wisdom, with everybody. So,
Thank you, Craig.
yeah,
And
I
thanks
had to
to
share.
Matt. And thanks to
And-
Matt for all the cool little graphics and designs and stuff he's doing and putting that all together. I know Matt's super busy, so for him to do that stuff, I really
There he is with the easy on
love you.
him.
Love you, my son. Thank you so much for doing all that.
All right. Thank you, Matt. All right. So now
I could actually hear Ezra and the mic's off. It was like It's like, all right.
All right. Mary Valchik, go ahead. Unmute yourself and please share with us as we continue.
Hello.
Hi,
Can you hear
Mary.
me
How are
okay?
you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. So I have two things that I wanted to say. One is I truly believe that there is that Santa's in every one of us. I know that there's been, I'm sure we all do it, but there's times when when I worked in corporate America, that I would go and leave flowers on friends' desk, not knowing who it's from, just in gifts and things, not knowing who they're from, just because that's, and that's Santa. Whether or not you want to believe that it's a person, but Santa's in all of us. When we give things, just because for no reason, out of the blue, I thought of you and this is for you, that's Santa. So I wanted to say that.
Mary, if I can add just one thing is I know that I've shared all this maybe with you guys, but I met this guy, Bill Austin, and he's the guy that owns the Starkey Hearing Foundation that fits children that can't hear with free hearing aids. And he said that he gave hearing aids. And of course, when the child first hears and the parents are crying and the child is crying, if you guys ever seen videos like that, man, it's like, But he said that he just didn't know any other expression more than that he's felt. And this lady had a translator. I think that he was in Peru, and this mom looked at him, and she said, "Thank you for being an angel." And he said, "I'm not an angel." And she said, "That's funny because God told me you were." And he went, "What?" And she goes, "I wouldn't even have known that you were doing this. I was in prayer for my daughter." And he told me that I needed to go to the store, and I went to the store, and I'm going, why am I going to the store? I don't even have any money to buy anything. But I went to the store anyway. And she said, and then when I got to the store, I go, why am I here? And then I looked over on a corkboard, and there was a poster that you were going to be at the soccer stadium giving away free hearing aids. And I'm like, and he's going, so he goes, for those of you that believe in angels, just understand that, a lot of time God uses people that listen to be angels for him. And so, yeah, I love that. I love that. So we're Santas too.
So the other thing I wanted to say, and I just want to say it, I don't know, so I want to discuss it because I'll probably get upset. So, and it just dawned on me when you were talking today, why sometimes I feel stuck, and why I just feel frozen is because I don't know what my gift is. So that's all. And
Do you know? Do you know now? Do you know now?
No. Well, I'll work on me. So.
Well, listen, Mary. Let this fall into you. You just explained your gift to all of us. You got on here and said, hey, sometimes you just got to be like a Santa. You got to just give stuff to people, flowers, whatever, showing them love and not telling anyone you did it. Mary, that's your gift.
Okay.
I received this from you. I've received a plaque with Hollis on it. That's your gift.
Okay.
That is your gift.
Wow. I guess I never really thought about that,
Let me ask you a question. What in you made you think about getting this book for me?
Because I wanted to show my gratitude and appreciation for everything you do for us, for all of us. And I wanted it to be special. So I wanted to find a first edition, original, just to say thank you, to let you know that I love you and we all love you. So
there it is. Do you have those thoughts all the time? There's your gift.
Okay. Wow. Never thought about
it. Let me take it one step further.
Of course.
How many people in the world do you think don't know what their gift is?
A lot.
Yeah. Like everybody. And so those that have difficulty understanding that giving a thoughtful gift, a unique gift to someone, that's your voice right there. The things that you have sent to Terry and I are very, very thoughtful. They're extremely unique. You go way out of your way than an average person does to find a way to make that person feel. That's an incredible gift. Because most people don't get it. Most people would go, well, guess my wife's birthday's coming around. I don't know what the hell to get her, so I guess I'll just get her flowers again. And you could be, hey, you know what? If you don't mind, I could like to ask you a couple of questions about her. Because I can come up with something that you'll give her that she'll never, ever, ever forget. And you do that naturally. And then you use your husband to do it too. So now tell me what your gift is.
Loving and giving to others
That's your
without
gift.
needing a reason to.
So now don't allow it to come from your heart and your soul and your spirit. Stop it from going back into your mind.
Gotcha.
Because that's what sticks you.
Yeah.
Because people go, well, if I'm just thoughtful to others and I take the time to get to know them, so they know, like, and trust me, so they'll become friends and follow me. So
Light
you
bulb.
you did that. Then what you did is you allowed it to get in your mind, and you're going, I don't know what to do next, because that's actually asking them to do something or buy something or get involved in something.
And it went from my heart to my head.
Yep.
It needs to stay here.
So why I've been so successful at being who I am is, do any of you think that when my mentor got me to read that book and call him, and I told him I would do the assignment, see, he got me to realize that if I shared something with them that would allow them to help others and tell their boss goodbye, to get them the gift of freedom, that's also a gift. And people are going, no, that's not a gift.
Yes.
Well, that's my delusion. That's why I'm so delusional. That's why I believe that anyone can do what I'm doing. Because I know I just fell in love with wanting to be in love with myself and be in awe with myself. And then I do everything in my power to make sure that other people feel that. I want them to feel
Wow.
that if I can make them feel love for a second, if I give them hope just for a second, if I can get them to be awe-inspiring just for a second, then maybe I can turn that into more than 1 second. And then maybe I can turn that into like a couple of minutes. And so on and so forth. So I love you, Mary.
I love
Perfect
you.
timing.
Thank you.
Perfect
I'm sorry, you
timing.
guys,
Why are you sorry?
because I really didn't want to come on and cry.
Why?
Because
That's Dino.
yeah, it is.
It's totally Dino. Have you ever seen me cry while I'm with you guys?
Oh yeah.
I used to say I was sorry. I don't anymore.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I thank you. I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So super proud of you. Okay, Craig.
Mary, thank you so very much for sharing. Wow. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on.
Did any of you get a pop while I was doing that? Did you guys get an aha moment? It's like, who would talk you out? Who would talk you out of what you believe that you're giving to people as a gift? Who would talk you out of thinking that it was a gift? Darth Vader. Darth Vader and his whole evil team. Yeah, he'd be like, hey, that isn't special. And guess what? That sure isn't going to make you any money. Oh, wow. That's pretty interesting. Do you guys believe that unlimited wisdom is going to make a lot of money and give a lot of money away? Yes or yes? And it's going to find the right people. It's going to find the right people, and the right people are going to watch the videos or get on some of the live videos. And this is what I said when I met my mentor and seen him speak for the first time. I love these people. This is when you know this is for you. Wow, Robert, you sure seem to be excited. Oh my God, I'm so jacked out of my mind. I can't tell you. Well, explain that what happened at this seminar. I don't know. You just had to be there. It was amazing. What could be amazing about someone on stage speaking to you? In my journal, I wrote a little paragraph. Is the more delusional you are, the less you'll be able to explain it to others. The more delusional you are, the less you'll be able to explain it to others. I see Matt here, I got Kyle, I got, my wife. There's a lot of people that are really super close to me that mean the world to me. And if you could ever get them by themselves and they knew that they could just open their heart, they would say, yeah, he's fucking out there. He does stuff every day that I don't understand, that I would never do. And to be bold and honest with you, I just think he's delusional like you would not believe. And so instead of trying to get mad because he's the only family member here, I knew that I could never press upon Matt my delusion. Do you guys get that? It's like I was going to always be bold and tell him the best I could about my delusion. But I need people that I love the most to have their own delusion. And now that I've been around Matt, and he's 33 years old, he feels comfortable going off on me in his delusion. And I'm like listening to him going, okay, Dad, you don't understand. We're going to do stories, and then I'm going to do this story, and then these people are going to see it. And then the next thing I'm going to be standing in line, and someone's going to have a tattoo on their arm that's from one of the stories I created. And I'm like, yeah, I just have to go, I'm with you. I see it. I support you. I don't need to be like the people that reach out to Corky and go, yeah, you do know the chances of that happening, right? No, I already know that I'm 1 in 400 trillion chance of being alive. I'm okay with the odds. I'm delusional because I'm that guy. I'm that person. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, to be bold and honest with you guys, I'd rather die telling people that I was that person instead of just allowing all the naysayers to beat the shit out of me all the time. It's like, what the hell do they know? Okay, Craig. Thanks, Matt. I love you.
Thank you. Great story. Great share. Deborah Grady. Okay, we're here with you. There's your unmute, so please share with us.
Okay, there we go. I unmuted. Hi. Oh my gosh, what an emotional. I was just thinking I need to take stock out in tissue. If I'm going to stay here, which I am going to stay here, so I'm going to need a lot of tissue. My goodness. Oh, it was just so hard. I don't even know where to start. My heart goes out to Mary. I am so glad that, Mary, that you had the courage to cry that out and get it out. And I'm so glad you stuck with Robert to hear the message. My kids tell me all the time, like, look, my mom's gonna beat around the bush, but when she gets to the point, it's worth it, you know. Because people will be like, what are you trying to, But so anyway, Mary, I'm so proud of you. I'm so, so proud of you, really. And I love you. And he's right. I don't even know you. I mean, I met you here through this, but that gift that Robert said it just exudes from you. I mean, it's obvious to me, that he's right. And I'm just an outsider, just coming in. And you do. My eyes fix on you because I love, I can see your heart and soul. When Robert's talking, I see you grab your heart sometimes, and I see your face and I see your emotions. That's who you are. That's who you are. And I'm just telling you from an outside total stranger, from my heart to yours. So, but anyway, and then the other crying, thanks for bearing with me. You remember 23 minutes before my Zoom a day, my dog Blaze died, and I got the ashes, and then I got his bowl, and look, I put a plant in it today.
Oh my
Japanese
God.
plant. Isn't that beautiful?
That's
You know,
beautiful.
I know. So that when you were talking about the dog, of course, I was like, I looked at the bowl, and right now I'm still sensitive. I look at it and I see his name, and I get emotional. But time will heal.
Yep.
But anyway, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I went down front at church today, and I'm like, Pastor, I have to talk to you. I have to talk to you. I go, I'm going to be on a Zoom at 3 o'clock, and I have to ask you something. In your message, you said that favor is the extension of God's hand, and that's what grace is. Favor is grace. And I go, my mentor, taught me a long time ago. He always says, I'm highly favored and highly blessed. And I said, so I want to bring this up, but I just want to be telling the truth. Is that really what it means? And he says, yes, favor is an
Yes.
extension of God's hand. It's grace. So I had to share that
Thank
with
you.
you.
Yeah, I remember hearing the phrase saying, sometimes I shorten it up, but it's greatly blessed, highly favored, and deeply loved. And
Great.
I'll never ever forget that I don't know who I was around, and it was in another country, and it was in another country, and they just asked me to go to church with them, right? And I went to church, and the guy was reading a scripture out of the Bible saying highly favored. And I just remember, wow, I didn't know that was part of a scripture. You know what I mean?
No,
And
right?
and yeah, it's when you really, it's I think a lot of people too, Deborah, it's like all the promises that are in all forms of writing, it's like people go, okay, that's great for most people, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
It's like if people knew how awful I am and how many things I've done wrong and the bad thoughts that I have. Why would this entity that's bigger than me want to favor me?
They don't know, though. They don't know how much God loves them. They don't know
No.
that yet. Not yet. But that's what
No.
we're here for. We're here to
So,
spread the message.
well, my deal has always been is that for me to live my life showing living a life that people can see, that those that believe what can happen, because I really love it that in the last years, there's always these people that are finally coming out and going, I think it was Alex Hermosi that said, if someone tells you, if you find someone successful, right? And you go, Robert, just cut the bullshit. Tell me bottom line what it is. Just tell me what it is. And people go, well, Deborah, you got to find your purpose. You got to find your passion.
I know my purpose.
And Alex Hermosi said, when people tell you that, they don't know how they did it. See, now you're on the other side. And it's like, how did this acting career happen to you? How did you, do this song? And all of a sudden now you're in front of 70,000 people singing it. How did this happen? How did this happen? And then people go back and go, man, you just got to find your passion and go all in, because they don't know how they did it. See, they can't teach other people how they did it. So then they go, well, I guess I was like delusional in my belief that if I really loved getting gooder at what I'm doing, that I would get to a point where it would be above average.
Mhm.
See, because everybody wants where people are, they just don't want to do the journey of that person.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They don't want to do the 10,000 hours or whatever. So it's like people love the outcome, but they just don't want to do all the stuff in between. And what if they followed somebody's journey, the ups and downs, that they were just so delusional and caught up in the journey. Most people say that once they achieve what they achieved, that's when they just go, all right, I guess I got to find something else to be challenged about. So a lot of the companies that I've been involved in over the years, it's like, man, if you could ever hit this position, and it's like, okay, and then it's like, well, wow, if you could walk the stages, the top 10, okay. Well, what about top 5? Okay. Well, what about top 1? Okay. And then when I hit top 1, I was going, well, how could I challenge myself? Well, what if I had everyone that was on stage in the top 10 in my organization? Okay. You know what I mean? And it's all of a sudden, it's just like, uh, it's like you run out of things to do. You know what I mean? So then a lot of people go, well, just win another one. Well, I don't know. I sometimes want to try something different. It's like it's different things, right? And so yeah, it is very interesting, Deborah, when you think about, you know, um, just again being delusional enough to think that, wow, what if it was about? Because here's another thing, Deborah, I don't think that people get about me that I know that you get about me, right? But it's more important for me to create that connection with another human being and get them to understand how much they got to love themselves and believe in themselves before they take on something that might be in marketing or affiliates or building a site or you know it's like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but the people that I know that suck at being entrepreneurs are people that just flat out they don't love anything about themselves. So now everything's focused on trying to convince others to buy something so they can make money. And I've even done this with people that I've personally mentored. I've reached out to them and I go, okay, so I need you to give me a name of somebody that you didn't know before, that you met, and now they're making above full-time income. And when I reach out and I ask them why they made an above average income, they say Deborah Grady, without a shadow of a doubt. If it wasn't for her, I'd no way be where I am. And then people look at me and they go, I don't have anyone like that. Well, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means that you gotta find another reason for doing what you're doing. You see what I mean? Because it's not just about making people money. It really truly isn't. There's people that have been my friends for, my whole entire life. I'm still best friends with people that I helped create a beautiful life for themselves, and it had nothing to do with marketing. But they're still my friends because when they look at what they have and they look at their life and they look what they're doing and they're in control of their life and they have freedom, they go, I know where this came from. I know exactly the person that got me to focus on the right things, you know? And most people just keep going through life just doing the same stupid shit over and over. And it's like, just think about if you had a group of people that said that you were responsible for who they are in life today. Because that's what I want to be known for. And Deborah, that came from Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
I mean, when Jim Rohn said this to me and he said, you died twice, Once when you stop breathing on this planet, and the second time you die is when no one no longer says your name.
Right. Right.
So people say, I want to help people and make an impact. Well, people don't remember you, and they're still not pointing to the stuff that you shared with them. It's like, then it was like a passing.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
Um, it's like, why do I remember Mr. Bitts? My professor. Why can't I remember any other names?
He didn't make an impression on you.
It's really simple, isn't it? It's really simple. It's like, why do you remember Mr. Bitts? And he's saying, wait a minute, is that your V8 Vega that's in the parking lot? Yeah. So you have a race car that you drive every day, and you're here to go to mechanics class. Yeah, because an uncle told me that a lot of people don't care about my skills, they care about a piece of paper. I'm here to get a piece of paper. And he goes, is that a wedding ring? And I said, yes, sir. He goes, how old are you? I go, 21. He goes, you're married? You got a kid? I said, yes, sir. And he goes, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to be the top student in this class. And he says, and when you graduate, you'll have over 70 people that want to employ you. I said, I'm ready. And that's exactly what happened. So it's people like that believe in you and tell you that you can do something. And it's like, yeah, I still needed the piece of paper because, hey, you can't tell people I'm a mechanic. And they go, well, of course, you don't have a degree to show it. But then he's also the guy that said, hey, listen, there's this automotive service excellence. It's called ACE. And he says, if you take these classes and I'll help you study for them, he says, all the knowledge that you need to know now to pass the test. But once you leave here, you no longer will use the information that you used on the class. And he's going, so you need to take them now. And I remember looking at him and going like, listen, and he goes, you can. And I went, he goes, you're going to do it. I was like, okay, I'll.
I can see you doing that.
Yeah. So, I think I learned a lot from those people going, man, you got to sometimes people just need to be told what to do. And then if they decide not to do it, then that's their own decision. But I think they should find someone they like to be like and have someone tell them what to do and do that.
But you know what? You have to be seeking too. I mean, you have to be. Had I not been searching, this was the last book I read of Jim Rohn's, and my prayer is like, okay, I have all your books. I'm reading all these personal. I need a human, Lord. Send me a man in flesh and blood, please, because this. I mean, this is great. I can read and read and read, but I need the human touch. And so, what does he do? He puts you in my life, and the very first thing you do is the most cherished book besides my Bible is you tell me about the greatest miracle, and this is what is written in my book. Fort Worth, Texas, 1989. This book was given to me by a stranger one night when I was homeless and hungry and had no hope for the future. And pages 89.
Bummer.
Had given me the serenity, acceptance, and courage and wisdom to live. I'm so thankful, God, you never gave up on me when I was ready to give up on myself. I love you, God. Thank you for my life.
Oh,
and you
my
came in
God.
my life and you gave me. And then I had to read it 100 days in a row, and I still do. Read it 100 days every year. That's how much you touched me. And I know I wrote it in the comments a while ago, but, I vowed to God, please don't ever let me get married again. But if I do, can he please have Robert's principles and his values and his love for charities and his love for you, God, and just the man that he is. And if you can find me a man that loves God more than me, even better. I don't think that's possible, but even better. But
Well, Deborah, look at this. Look, no, why
I
are
don't. I'm not
people?
sorry. I'm not sorry.
You're not
I'm
sorry.
not
Good,
sorry.
good, good. So now
No.
watch this, you guys. Look at this book. It says Robert Hollis from God. And then you open up this little book and
Look at the signature.
with love, Deborah Grady. That's so
Yeah,
it's
and
like
I personalized it all the way through with your name. Where the book says, you know, uh, oh gosh, I should have this memorized. Whatever, to you instead of, where it's talking about to you when you're reading the book.
right.
So I put your name everywhere it says you, so you would know God was talking directly to Robert because it says Robert here in your
So
book.
this is my own personal copy,
Own personal.
made by Deborah.
And that was so much fun. I love doing that.
So
I probably made
Deborah,
100 of them.
Deborah, on a scale to 1 to 10,
Uh-huh.
while you were talking to me, do you think that I would have that close?
Knowing you, yeah. Didn't think it was that close, but I knew you didn't get rid of it.
I love you. I love you,
I
Deborah.
love you too. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me here. This is another answer to prayer. I mean, I honestly, I don't know what God's doing, but he only gives me 5 minutes. Sundays was like always my time after church with my family. We eat. And he gives me, and I'm like, I gotta go, 3 o'clock, I gotta go. And I walk in. Today it was 2:50.
Hey, you got to tell you all got to go to the earlier service. No.
I go to the earliest one.
Well, I love you. I love you,
I
Deborah.
love you too. All right, love you so much. Thank you.
You bet. You
Thank
bet.
you. Sorry,
Craig, let's
All right.
close this out. I think that people.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you all so very much. What a great master's mind. And so, yeah, I agree, Robert. So now that we got that, if you want to save some of the information in the chat, there's a few things. Go ahead and click the 3 dots in the meeting chat next to where it says Master's Mind. Then click Save Chat. It will download to your computer, so you've got those notes right there. Don't forget, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, recess! That's coming up. And then Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday, Daily Wisdom at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Breakthroughs on Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. A whole week filled of stuff where we can get together and share. And thank you all so very, very much. Got to give big shout outs, of course, to Deborah Grady, Mary Valchek, Santa Corky for sharing, Matt Hollis. Bless you, my friend. Thank you for being our executive producer. And Robert, wow, what a great day. Thank you for giving yourself to us. Thank you for sharing with us. And thank you for being our dear friend and GPS to success. So, until next time, everybody, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and unmute so we can all say so long. Have a great Sunday.
Hello. Hey,
Thank you
Matt,
so
I
much.
love
Shelley,
you.
bye Matthew and Az, bye
everyone.
Mary,
Love
bye
you
Jill,
all. Love you all.
bye Jamie, bye Michael and Angela, bye Jody, Kevin, Deborah,
Bye.
Phil, CJ.
Have
God
a
bless
great
you
day,
guys.
everyone.
All right, y'all.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.